Coming to you live from the heart of the Golden State, I'm your host, Matt, and joined with me, as always, are my co-hosts,
Roger,
Andrew,
and Julian.
And this is the Cryptid V podcast. Now play that introductory music. I think I've used that one.
Yeah.
I think so too. Honestly, it actually sounded familiar.
Oh well, we did
All
the
right.
crack. It's too late.
Well, we're back.
We're
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Another week. Finished our philosophy 2 weeks. Now we're back on that tournament grind.
Let's go.
We will complete this tournament.
eventually.
I did not check if we have any new messages, any new anything. I'm going to check that real quick, but while we do, it is currently July 24th. I go to college starting the 20th or the 21st of August, and if I get another job, editing's going to be a bit difficult. So if you are a long-time listener and you're placing bets on when our first missed episode will be, start placing your bets in the next coming few episodes, because I edit them and I might not have time to do it all the time or record along with everybody else. Time is not easy to find. Besides that, I didn't see any new reviews. We did get a lot of downloads on the podcast last week and the week before, the highest we've had since we've been back. I think it was like 60 downloads in 1 week, and then another 50 the next week.
All right. I think what was peak, like 200 initially?
Yeah.
Which ones were the
P
two?
at our highest was like 150 to 200 a week. Recently, it's been more like 20 to 30
All right.
on a good
all
week.
right. So we're
on our
climbing. We're
comeback.
climbing.
So yeah, last 2 weeks.
This guy's like, we're back. He wasn't even there the first time.
I'm back for the first time.
He's returning initially.
But yeah, so we had 2 really good weeks. Thank you all. The continued support is very much appreciated. And yeah, I mean, as you could tell from the intro, we are getting back into the tournament.
Yeah. You might also be able to tell it's like 100 degrees here because we're in the Golden State,
Yeah.
California, and it's burning
If you
hot.
live in the heart of the Golden State, it's currently, I think today's high was like 100.
And
Yep.
3 or something.
Yeah.
102 yesterday? Yeah. We're melting.
Where you were. Fuck.
So, another reason if an episode comes out late, that's just because it was too hot to record. We record in the same room, all together, but we use my garage because it's the quietest place, and, I mean, it's just too fucking hot in here.
Yeah.
We're not young like we were when we started the podcast, and we're in even hotter weather in a fucking garage.
Oh, God. Yeah. All right. Well, we're back with the tournament this time. Who's our first round of fights?
Let me pull it up real quick. So, it looks like... Did we do Chupacabra and Skinwalker last time?
No. I don't remember.
I
thought
think
we
we left
did.
off that one because we were like, it might be.
Yeah, I
Or-
thought we said, let's do that next time because that's going to be a good first fight.
I believe so, because we did Bigfoot and Krampus for most of the episode, and I think we knocked out 2 quick ones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we knocked
Thunderbird
out
was one of
Thunderbird,
them, and then
Looks like
The
the other
Frogman?
one was
Frogman. And yeah, obviously,
and
got trampled.
Amikook. So then, yeah, today's first fight will be El Chupacabra versus the Skinwalker. Battle arenas. For the Skinwalker, I'd say a little bit of a forest, but I mean, there's stories where they're seen in a lot of different environments.
Yeah.
Mostly seen in ranches, I feel like. A lot of them are like empty fields.
And that's where I was getting to. El Chupacabra, always when it is spotted, because for those who don't know, we are going off old school Chupacabra, not new school Chupacabra. So, no wolf with mange.
This is
Lizard
more closer to
character
lizard.
thing.
Yeah.
And he, when the few times he was spotted, was in fields. And he always
farms
attacks
and stuff,
in
yeah.
fields, on farms. So I could go for like a plains, farmsy kind of area.
Yeah, or like a prairie, something like that.
Prairie, yeah. Even a farm, just itself.
Yeah, like the back of a farm in a giant field or something.
Would be
Yeah,
more
do you-
crazy Skinwalker Ranch.
throw in aliens as a little, what do they call them? Stage hazards.
Do we want to add a building, like a barn? Or, like, does that ever... I mean, these two aren't necessarily dependent on...
So, one of the big Skinwalker stories, because buildings, I could go either way, but, like, one of the Skinwalker stories that I always remember is, it was a son, I think he might have had a friend, and then the dad and, like, the uncle or the grandpa. Dog runs away. Family goes to look for it. Children stay at home. It's nighttime, of course. And then at the edge of the field, they hear a bark, but it sounds odd. They check it out. They see the dog at the edge of the forest from, like, their window. And then they see the dog get up on its hind legs, blah, blah, Skinwalker story stuff.
Yeah.
So, there's just a lot of stories of people being in buildings when they see these things, so I don't
it's
mind
always
there
outside,
being a stage,
right?
but it itself is always outside. I can't
I don't know
recall
if we
a
really-
story
I think
of
there's
them
a
being
taboo
inside.
with skinwalkers too, where they can't go inside unless they're invited in.
Like the vampires.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I see.
What's the other one? The black-eyed kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like if
I don't
these
really
two are
need
going to
a building.
interact, you don't really need a building. I mean, a plane's... To me, it just already seems like the plane's kind of a boring location, but it's also most obviously where they're both at. So, I mean, yeah you're not going to have much cover, but...
My last question. Tall grass or short grass? Because it will matter for both of them.
I'm thinking
I'm thinking tall.
like knee height maybe.
I was thinking maybe overgrown. The field is a plane.
Maybe some of it's overgrown or something. Some spots are a little higher than others.
Okay.
It would be a little more beneficial for Chupacabra.
And that's where I was going, because Chupacabra relies heavily on the stealth. Skinwalker, not as much, but still can utilize the stealth pretty well.
Skinwalkers can transform into a bunch of different things though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we have stats for them where they transform into certain things for different stats.
Yeah.
So, like, health is a bison, right?
I
Or
just
defense.
realized I'm going to have to pause the show to pull up the show notes, because I forgot to do that. We'll be
Bro
right
was
back
not ready.
after these messages. Alright, and we're back from our unregularly scheduled break.
Nice.
I now have the stats. I'm not going to go over the histories. We were doing that last time, or not last time, but last time. But we're covering some heavy...
Last time.
We
We
definitely
did.
did.
Well, because it was Bigfoot
Because-
and Krampus. Because we were like, okay, everyone knows Bigfoot, and Krampus is just evil Santa. That's
It was
literally what
more
we went.
so like the characters afterwards that we did it for. But the
It's
heavy
just the lesser
hitters,
known
I'm not
ones.
going to be bothered. So these two aren't getting histories. If you don't know what the Skinwalker is, go on YouTube, type in the word Skinwalker. There's going to be a gajillion YouTube videos to help you figure
All
it out.
stories you can listen to. Don't get mixed up with the Wendigo.
Yep. So, moving to stats, abilities, and characteristics for the Skinwalker. Characteristics, strange eyes. They just got strange eyes.
The way that makes
guys.
sense if you know what a Skinwalker is. It's literally the only thing that you can see that's not clearly something else.
Yeah. Usually they have like hide on their backs too, or like weird antlers and stuff. Sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
That's-
the original, or the more realistic version of the Wendigo is just a
We're talking about Skinwalker.
Skinwalker, sorry. Is, I believe,
It's like a demon.
is Skinwalker the greed? Because I know one of them is from a magic... No, okay. I'm pretty sure Skinwalkers are just magic men that wear the pelts of other animals.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
gives them their... It doesn't technically transform them. It just gives them their abilities.
Yeah.
But I mean, so much has happened. There's so many different stories, even from originating from when the Skinwalker first appeared, that kind of contradict that line of belief, but that's technically the real version, yeah. That's why it's depicted with a pelt.
Yeah.
We get to abilities, which I feel like this is probably one of the cryptids that actually has decent abilities.
Yeah.
Mainly because its main build is on its abilities, including shape-shifting, mind invasion, dark aura, and slight corruption magic. We did include magic on here.
I feel like
Yeah, I
we
was
did
gonna
that
say.
just because it was a shaman. We were like, it has to have it.
Yeah, that was one of the other original.
So, its stats. Now, the way we originally did the stats is for 4 out of the 6 abilities, when it uses that ability, it transforms into the creature that correlates with that highest stat. So, intelligence of 9, just base 9. I imagine it was a medicine man, which is their wizards for Native Americans.
So he got
So
corrupted.
extremely intelligent, but corrupted through dark magic.
So.
So intelligence drops. Now we have power of 9 from its bison form, defense of 8 from its brown bear form, mobility of 7 from its cougar form, HP of 7 in its bison form again, and then a natural stealth of 10.
Because obviously no one's ever really seen the true form of a skinwalker.
That and shape-shifting.
You never know what it is.
Yeah.
And then we move on to El Chupacabra. Now, its abilities. So we'll cover characteristics first, since we did last time. Large red eyes, scales, fangs, and claws. It's kind of your typical lizard man. I forgot the technical
Is it on all
word for it.
fours, or does it walk most on 2?
I think it's on 2, or it switches.
Well, so when apparently when it's like traveling, it's traveling on all fours.
And then
But
it
when it's
stands
like
up.
actually attacking things like sheep and stuff like that, it's standing. Like it's standing there eating them.
And how
That's what
tall
people
is
have
it?
said. Not
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 very
very.
tall.
It's like 4 foot or something like that. It's
Yeah,
not like
4
It's pretty
3.
short.
yeah.
And then its abilities is Blood Drain / Life Steal. So, you read... Once again, if you don't know what the El Chupacabra is, go on YouTube. Google it. Or YouTube it. Gajillion videos. But it's... One of its biggest notorieties is that it drains the blood from its victims. It's kind of like a vampire. And so, when we did the episode, I believe... we factored that into its abilities, where when it drains the blood, it can heal.
Mm-hmm.
So keep that in mind as we go.
This is also
through.
because at the initial time we like to correlate these two kind of like D&D-esque abilities, just to
we
give
wanted
it
to
more of a
give
fight.
him a little more.
Yeah, to make the fight a little bit more interesting than he just sucks your blood.
Because
So,
I mean, if you look at it, I mean he's just going to be clawing and biting. So give it some extra flair. Then we move down to stats: intelligence of 7, power of 5, defense of 4, mobility 8, HP 6, and stealth 10.
That's so
Pretty
weird, 'cause I
outclocked by the Skinwalker.
I was gonna say I almost remembered him having a mobility of 10 because I thought it was something like he's so fast.
But
I guess it was just
I might have moved it down.
We might have moved the mobility down, the mobility down, just because it seems like a lot of that is more emphasized in stealth than it is in mobility.
But I thought we did it where we said that it was a 10 because he was able to cover so much ground just in one night, basically.
Yeah, like it was like, oh, the one sighting was here, and then it was like hundreds of miles away. It was the next sighting, and we're like, no, it was the same.
And I'm sure we did. I just think we probably changed it when we did the first mashup and rehash.
Probably just because it was
And
something
just
like
to be
it's
fair,
not. It's more like
it's
he
too
didn't
late
get
to change it now.
Yeah, more like, oh, he just never gets seen. Not necessarily that he's extremely fast. Yeah. All right.
And those are our stats for our competitors. So we're solidified on like an open field.
Yeah.
I think so.
Some tall grass.
We said tall grass. Where? How tall we say the grass?
Like knee height, some might be taller. I think
Between
it'd be
like
in patches,
knee
though,
and
too.
knee
Like,
and thigh.
Okay.
But yeah, so I feel like El Chupacabra is the aggressor here. I think Skinwalker could be trying to bait something in animal form when Chupacabra goes in for the bite.
Yeah. Are we saying this is at night then? Because Chupacabra pretty much only works at night.
Yeah, they both really only seem to work at night, so I would go for that.
I feel
Alright.
like the Skinwalker would almost be hunting down the Chupacabra because it's like in its territory and it'd be kind of stalking it, trying to play little games with it. And it's like, what am I
Technically, they
doing?
both have the same territory. They're both all kind of like South America /
Yeah, but like just like he's in his area, like he doesn't want another creature right where he's at.
Maybe.
I mean,
But I
that
also
could even
feel
play
like
into it. Like he's
Skinwalker's
just
more
trying.
of a human hunter and only pays mind to animals when it benefits getting a human.
Yeah,
Like the story with the dog.
Mhm.
Turns into the dog instead of like the dad or the uncle to draw him out. But he wants the kids. not the dog.
Yeah, well, I think that's just him because he transforms into animals.
Well, no, they transform into humans too. But
Okay.
the thing when skinwalkers transform into humans, they can only really say what they heard. So a lot of it's usually like screaming "hey"
Yeah.
or screaming "help" and shit like that.
Yeah, their talking is more of like just a repeating.
Yeah,
like a
like a
bird.
parrot, yeah.
Parrot, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see both ways though.
I definitely think El Chupacabra is the aggressor.
I think no
Skinwalker
matter
might
what,
be
either
something.
way, you could just have it. The Skinwalker is some sort of sheep for some reason. Like even if he's just trying to bait the Chupacabra anyway.
So with the stealth of 10 on both of them, do you think the Chupacabra could sneak up on a good old Skinwalker? Who also has an intelligence of 9. And they are both trained hunters.
I feel like
Well,
the skinwalkers
okay.
are like.
I think that with a mobility of 8 even, Skinwalker is clearly not in cougar form, which gives him a mobility of 7, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
I
I feel like
think-
he'd just be in a basic animal right
Like
now.
a deer or
Like
something.
a deer. Andrew said a sheep. I
would
feel
say
like he'd
more
be in
sheep
some kind
for-
of basic form like that, not a specialized combat form.
So I think, yes, Chupacabra probably has the edge on him initially.
Before
I
he
think,
can even transform, Chupacabra would already be there.
Alright, Chupacabra. Little fang prick on the neck.
I just feel like if the skinwalker is out there, it's got something planned because they're not usually just sitting there. Like you never really see them. I feel like they're usually like off in the distance. You hear them say something or.
It depends, because a lot of like the Skinwalker stories, sometimes they actually come up to you. Like one of the stories is that, like, maybe it was Wendigo story. It was either one, but they mimicked a voice of an animal, and then they mimicked a voice of a human outside of a tent of 2 boys. And when the boys went out to go track it in the daytime, they followed the footprints that then soon turned to animal prints, and then just took off from there.
So you're not set on the Chupacabra sneaking up on the Skinwalker.
yeah, I think
I
at
just
the end
feel
of the
like
day,
it
he's saying
would
he's ready for the attack.
I feel like if it was just a deer in a field, it's not just like. I feel like the skinwalker's never just lottie-dying around. It's always got something it's looking for or some kind of.
Well, I think the point that I was trying to make was that it's the Chupacabra's got a mobility of 8.
Yeah.
And so even its specialized form, the Skinwalker's not matching that. So
Yeah, I don't think it's trying to run away.
well, I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
running away. I'm saying I think that the Chupacabra has time to close the gap in
Yeah.
that moment. And like, oh, okay, so it's there. It's biting it already. Like
And while
it's
it might
already
be
in a form
transforming-
that's slower.
I feel like it would see it and it would try to get into a more defensive form, like as it's charging at it.
But it's got to stop
Yeah,
the
but
tent.
even if
Yeah.
it transforms, by the time it would transform,
They
the
both have a stealth
Chupacabra
of
would
10,
be
though.
there.
And I would argue Chupacabra's got a better stealth than the Skin.
Yeah.
Just because,
Yeah.
personally, I think a lot of the stealth derives from the transformations.
Yeah.
Then it's just natural ability to sneak.
Yeah, it's also just its intelligence too that really helps it with the sneak. Whereas Chupacabra's is like
It's just
pure,
natural.
just talent.
Yeah. I think he can get the sneak. Especially with Andrew's argument that even if he does get discovered, El Chupacabra's outspeeding him anyways. So he'll be able to, even if it's not like a neck bite, he'll still be able to hit him somehow.
Yeah.
I could even see him going for the claw. Like if it's something like a deer like that, I could even see him being like, okay, this thing, obviously the deer is a little bit taller than 4 feet. It's going to be a little harder to get up there. So maybe he just like tries to claw it to maim it so that he can start eating
Like,
it.
yeah, like a dash and slice kind of thing.
Yeah.
I could even see it
I can
like
get on board with that.
like
a lot
yeah, the
easier.
chupacabra like starts charging after him, and then as a deer it starts running away, but it catches up and like grabs its leg or something, like its thigh, and then maybe the skinwalker like tries to transform out of it or something, but he still clawed him with a good leg scratch.
I think, yeah,
So
at
you-
the very least, he's leg clawing him.
Yeah,
at
like
the very least.
In the back thigh of like a deer, like that big meaty area. I think he just
Yeah.
slices him as he kind of like moves away.
All right.
So we're on board with leg slash.
Yeah. But I think at this point the Skinwalker is probably immediately transforming.
Yeah.
Like once that happens. Yeah.
Instantly. But what form?
I was thinking it would either get into a bigger defensive one or like a bird and try to get a better position.
Well, we definitely don't. I think we specifically restricted flying forms from the Skinwalker.
Okay.
Just
doesn't
because
have-
it's too strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I either see he goes defense, or he's like, this little fucker just hit me. I'm going bison, and I'm just gonna smash it to pieces.
Or even
I can
bear.
almost see Bear even too, because he's like, all right, let's tank up, and I've still got power. Yeah.
I can get behind
Bisons
Bear.
are still very powerful. I feel like.
Well,
he could
we
just-
gave him
Bison
highest
is
strength
for
is
power.
Bison.
And brown bears for defense.
I'm sure.
We just gave him, because Bison would be even stronger than the bear, we gave him the highest stat he could get in each of those.
So yeah, I mean bison will still have defense, just won't have bear defense. And bear will have attack,
Yeah.
just not bison attack.
Yeah.
Or bison speed. Because I feel like bison's also got some speed.
Yeah, they could start to charge.
Probably not cougar mobility, but
No.
just raw speed.
Cougars,
Well,
I'd say.
I
are
mean,
faster,
honestly,
though.
maybe you can go.
Definitely.
Maybe you can go cougar just because he knows he's got to get away,
Yeah, he'd be able
and
to
he's
fit
in
the
tall grass, and the cougar's obviously going to blend in.
he'd be able to fit the stealth and the mobility of the chupacabra, and so then he kind of evens almost the playing field in a sense.
Do you
But
think he
do
would
you-
do like cougar, run away in the tall grass, and then the chupacabra's like, "Damn, where'd you go?" And then he like comes back at him as like a bison or something.
This is another thing we gotta think of. The chupacabra is like a master hunter in a sense.
He's also faster than the cougar form.
Yeah, but
I
So,
could almost see. Well,
Let's say he does go cougar, tries to run in stealth, Chupacabra's going to be on his ass. Chupacabra's already mindset of it's time to kill, let's go. He's got one good attack off, and just because he transforms, that damage doesn't go away.
I was going to
it's still
say,
the
I
same
think that's
damage.
part of me is thinking maybe as retaliation, he almost goes power just to be like, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah, I
Like,
think he has to
turns
go
around,
power
like-
instead of something small.
I think he almost goes for like, well, that's why I was thinking bear, just because he can, as far as he can turn around and like smack at him again. So he goes
As to
bear
where
just.
if he was the bison, he'd have to
Yeah.
fall, get some distance, turn around, come back.
I feel
Yeah,
like Bison,
I think this is almost
his
reactionary.
mobility is almost like a Thunderbird, where it's like a slow turn, but it's fast going forward.
For
Yeah.
sure.
So I think as like a, oh shit, I just got hit. Bear's almost okay, so I'm gonna tank up and try and swipe around at him.
I could see him almost like transforming into the bear, turning around, kind of trying to intimidate him with like a roar, and then like swiping him off to the side, and then he kind of like falls over to the side a bit in the grass, but like still scurries itself back up, like kind of just like a back off kind of thing, but pushes him over.
Yeah, almost
it
like
is-
the fight has only just begun.
Yeah,
type thing.
because it is still like it's only 4 feet, so compared to a bear, like that thing's just gonna be able
Yeah.
to at least move it
Yeah.
around a little bit.
I can get behind that.
Yeah.
I think it'd catch El Chupacabra off guard, so I
Mhm.
think the hit's definitely justified.
Yeah.
And just strategically, it makes a lot of sense for the Skinwalker to go bear. How much damage does it do to El Chupacabra, though? Because El Chupacabra, not very tanky, not very healthy. 6 HP, 4 defense.
I don't know if this
I
was
almost
like...
think it goes flying. Like,
Oh, it
I
goes
almost think
flying.
it like.
oh, you think it goes flying?
Oh, it's
It
like
does.
4 feet, has really
Yeah.
low defense. I think
And,
this
yeah,
thing's
it's
just
almost-
launching. Like,
It's
Dude
almost
probably
like a-
doesn't even weigh 100 pounds.
yeah,
It's almost like a Dover demon in a sense, where it's just lengthy, and so it doesn't have much on it, but it still has the speed to stealth, unlike the.
Yeah. So, how bad's it fucking him up? He gets hit with the claws and the force of the impact, and he goes flying.
Yeah. I feel
He's got to
like
be hurt
with
pretty
a
bad.
good mobility, like a lizard man would be able to recover a little bit, but I think the hit is going to do, most of the damage.
Yeah. No, I think he'll be able to collect himself
Yeah.
after the hit. It's just, it's such a strong attack against somebody who
I think
is
it's almost
really
like-
not that tanky.
part of me wants to say he broke an arm or something, but then I'm like, well, I think maybe he's just badly bruised. Like he got like really
Or it's
fucked
just
up
like
from the hit
yeah,
and
it's just
getting
like a big
like-
ass
or, like,
bruise on the
huge-
chest.
or like a gash on his side and
Yeah, I
a bruise
feel
on
like
I
his
feel
it's
like it'll
like-
be a bruise and a gash.
That's what I was
yeah,
thinking.
that's what I'm saying. Like
on
he
his
got
rib
gashed
cage.
where he got hit, and then he's bruised pretty much where he kept hitting the ground or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how? If we were to put it into D&D terms, where it's like he's barely taking damage, he's looking bloody, he's almost dead. Where
I'd
is
say
he
he's
on
not
those
looking
3?
bloody yet, but there's some blood coming out of him.
Yeah, It's like in between looking bloody and like a little bit of damage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like he's like starting to get exhausted now, but not like he's just getting weaker. Like
I'd
a
say
little bit.
wounded is almost like the
Yeah.
he's wounded for sure.
Okay, and I ask because of the life drain.
Yeah, which I think will come into
Is he
play
gonna
later.
have to? Okay, so you don't think he's to the point yet where he feels like he has to heal?
I feel like he does feel like that, but he knows that it's going to be more difficult now. But
Okay.
going back to Skinwalker, I think that Skinwalker is now a pretty obvious target, and he doesn't know what the hell this other thing can do. It's gashed him pretty bad. So I think maybe now he goes Cougar because he knows it's far away, and he can hide in the grass.
I think now he's like, this is my opportunity. Because I
But-
feel like he knows he's not faster than it.
But he also does, like, once again, stealth 10. So we're thinking maybe now he just launched him, so he doesn't
you
know
think
where
now
he is.
He's got a stealth opportunity.
I think now it's easier for him to kind of try and go on the prowl, pretty much. Okay, so now let's find out where it is, and try and attack it from the shadows like it did to me.
Skinwalker's also a lot more in tune with strategy
Yeah.
compared to a lot of these other competitors. So it's the one cryptid where I'd be like, he's probably thinking a step ahead. Like, he doesn't have some crazy plan worked out, because, you know, he's not human intelligence, but he's thinking a little bit ahead.
I can see either that, or I don't know if you guys think he would just go, at this point, just go Bison and full on charge him, because he launched
That
him.
doesn't seem
I
like
don't
a
think he's
Skinwalker
that-
thing to do right away.
Yeah, I just don't think that's something I feel like that'd just be a little too dumb.
I
for the
could see the
Skinwalker.
Cougar, because the Cougar still can get like a good neck chomp on him if he stalked him in the grass.
Yeah.
Like, Cougars would be a good battle, I feel like.
I'm
Although,
already, yeah.
yeah.
I'm definitely on board with the stealth thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, create a distance, time to stealth. We don't really know what we're dealing with here, so let's figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of the Skinwalker thing to do anyways, because Skinwalker's definitely not headstrong and going straight for a kill or anything.
Yeah,
It's more of a mind game thing.
I think it just goes Cougar, runs, scurries into some bushes, and now it's kind of stalking.
But then it comes down to natural instinct versus human instinct. Who's the
Wow.
better hunter?
Also, I feel
Well,
like, yeah,
Because I feel like they both stealth at this point.
yeah.
Well,
And it's also El Chupacabra is a hunter, so I think he'd almost be able to track him in a sense.
but think about it like this. Chupacabra, we just said he has a gash on his side, so he's bleeding. So there's a way to track him.
Both of them.
Oh, that's true.
But it's
They're
also
both bleeding. So
it's more of a who's the better hunter in a sense.
And I'm going to have to give it to Chupacabra. I mean, dude's been doing it for, apparently, hundreds of years.
Really, I feel like I've heard more about the Skinwalker. I feel like the Skinwalker would take it.
Skinwalkers have been around for a long time.
no, I think he's just talking about he thinks the Skinwalker would go on the offensive first. Like he'd get the strike in. Yeah.
No, like, what were you saying? Like, you think the Chupacabra would...
I think the Chupacabra as a natural hunter, like that's all it does. It's born to hunt. That's all it
Animals.
knows. That's
Yeah.
all it does. Skinwalker's different. This person was a human, a medicine man before, not really a hunter.
And he's
It's
trying to
gained
trap
these
people.
abilities, but is it really better than a natural animal at hunting?
I feel like it's kind of like you have one natural animal that's like, this is like an apex predator type thing, and then you have like a shaman that is using all of nature's different aspects, being able to morph in different things to help them. Yeah, it's hard, because I feel like they have more diverse knowledge in hunting because they see it through different perspectives, whereas this is just like looking at it from like kind of the same perspective as like the cougar or something, but on a higher scale. But other than that, all it kind of has is that predator drive, where he kind of has the prey instinct of when to run and when to hide and that stuff.
But would that make it a better hunter?
I feel
No,
like,
but I think he's saying that it's better at evading hunting. Okay,
That
so
I
now,
can get around.
now
that
now
definitely.
I have all views, so I know what he's thinking and I know what I would be thinking.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
I think the Skinwalker is the best strategist.
yeah, like I feel like
By far.
physically the Chupacabra's a better hunter, but I feel like the Skinwalker knows more about hunting. So it's like,
Okay, what happens next is the
Yeah,
real
yeah.
thing you
I
have
mean,
to get
that's
at.
what, that's what we're trying
Like,
to get down
yeah,
to.
yeah.
I
Like,
understand the
they're both
argument, but do
hunting.
we think the Chupacabra is going to go for this next strike, or do we think he's hiding, or do we think the Skinwalker is going for the next strike, or do we think he's hiding and observing? So I think they both have the ability to do it. I think it's just who's actually.
I think
Going
that
for the next attack.
Chupacabra's instincts after getting pushed would be to look for the predator.
Yeah. So
Like, that's the thing it's doing. Whether it's trying to hide and find it, but I think it's just looking for it. And I think the Skinwalker is kind of stalking it and knows where it's at already. Because it watched it get pushed over, and now it's kind of lurking. Now I feel like I don't know what happens from that. Like, who... Does the Skinwalker attack out of the bushes? Does the Chupacabra find him?
I feel like Skinwalker would be aggressive, mostly because to a point you made earlier, if he's here for a reason.
Yeah.
Chupacabra's fucking that shit up.
Yeah.
He's got to get rid of him. He's messing up whatever plan or whatever Skinwalker was doing previously. So I think Skinwalker could be the aggressor.
Yeah.
More so than El Chupacabra.
now, here's the question: now that he is Cougar, do we think he's going for a strike as the Cougar, or do we think he's getting into a good position to become something else?
The thing is that if he's going into a position to be something else, like the bison or the bear, that almost takes away his stealth completely.
Yeah, I feel like he's
I feel like it'd have to
well-
be like Goku going Super Saiyan God and then turning blue right before the attack. I feel like that'd have to be something he'd have to do to
But I
get
thought
a
we-
power attack off.
I thought we didn't give him. I thought we said it had to take a couple of seconds. For him to
Yeah,
change.
and that's
So,
why
like,
I'm saying the only way I could see him doing something like that is to go for the attack and transform in
Yeah,
attack.
like
I don't
he's
think
reached him almost.
transforming beforehand will help, and I
No.
think it'll just make it worse if he does.
Yeah, like he's
So do you
charging
think
at
we're
you.
going? Okay, so now I'm
He's
Cougar
kinda
form. I'm
locked in.
charging straight at him, but then I know that at the last second I can become the last couple of seconds I could become like Bison or something
Yeah,
to go
like
for
midway running
a crazy
through,
strike.
becoming bison almost midway.
He could do that, but I feel like he's just kind of locked in.
Mhm.
Just because he's got to know El Chupacabra's fast. If he gives himself away a few seconds before, I mean, Chupacabra is already alert. He's looking. And I feel like he would know if he transforms, it breaks his stealth, and Chupacabra
Yeah.
just has an even better chance of avoiding and retaliating.
And I feel like with the fighting, like, if he runs in as the Bison, it's just he's more vulnerable to, like, the Chupacabra could go around him way easier and then just slash him. But, like, he could hit, like, an angle as the Cougar and try to go for, like, a back bite.
Okay,
Jump out of the grass real quick.
so we think he's just gonna go in for as the Cougar. Okay, so he's seen Chupacabra, he knows where he's at, and now he's gonna go for the attack.
And I think he's getting a hit off.
Okay.
While Chupacabra is the better natural hunter, it goes back also to what Julian said. He's a hunter, not a huntee. He doesn't have those instincts to run away or dodge or be aware of something coming up and attacking me from behind.
He doesn't have as much flight instinct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Skinwalker's going to get another attack off. Maybe, probably, definitely not as powerful, but still a deadly attack nonetheless. If
As-
anything, he could get a crit sneak.
I see it as, like, he either gets a good strike and then now they're, like, squared up, or I see it as, like, he goes for, like, a back bite and now they're kind of, like, tumbling on the ground together. And,
Like, having a
like,
little cat fight.
yeah, they're having, like, a cat fight kind of thing. And it's, like, from there, I don't know what...
I could
If
almost
they
see
go-
that happening, and then okay, so now they're kind of grappled because let's say as the Cougar, he's got him in his mouth or something.
Yeah.
He's got him bitten on like the arm, so now he's taking even more damage. Can't use an arm, but maybe Chupacabra, he doesn't know about all of Chupacabra's abilities, and Chupacabra's like, oh shit, I've taken a lot of damage. I'm gonna bite him back, and so now he's trying to life drain or
feel
life
like-
steal. You know.
In the situation of some kind of grapple, Skinwalker's going to come out on top every time.
Yeah.
I just don't think Chupacabra has enough defense to survive any kind of grapple from the Chupacabra.
Oh, so you think he's just dead after this?
I think,
pretty
yeah,
much.
if he grapples him, it's over. I mean, yeah, he can life steal, but
Wait, you think
Is
it's
that
over for
when
the
he's
chupacabra or
yeah.
the
yeah,
skinwalker?
The
when he's
chupacabra.
grappled by the skinwalker, even with the cougar form, he's gonna be doing a lot of damage. He's gonna be in close.
I could even
Chupacabra
see.
is gonna be at a bad angle to attack back if the skinwalker's smart enough.
Yeah.
I just don't think he survives a grapple if we go that road, which I think makes the most sense. Unfortunately, for the chupacabra to go that road.
I
of
could
a
almost
grapple.
even see him trying to do lifesteal, and like maybe he's healing a little bit. Skinwalker realizes, oh shit, something's happening, like he's healing or something, and just fully fucking with him in his mouth turns into like bison or something and crushes him or something.
Bear and just
I'm-
chomps his
exact
head right
or like
off.
crushes him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking like he goes into something big enough to like instantly kill him and just
Yeah.
okay. he's
Even
dead.
just to like grapple him to just fucking break his back, and then
What
he's
are the
just-
other things he has besides bear, bison?
Well, technically, he can turn into any animal.
Okay.
yeah.
This
we
is just
said
these are the most powerful animal
It was
in
also
his bracket.
keeping more of like folklore wise.
Yeah,
it
so
wasn't really
they're
like
it was
more-
North American animals.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't go with like a cheetah. Obviously, that would be even faster. But like it was
Yeah,
supposed to
so
be.
that's why we went brown bear, bison.
Yeah, polar bear is
cougar.
clearly a stronger bear.
Way
There's
stronger.
even
So
stronger
there's
animals.
definitely better animals, but we're trying to just
Keep it.
keep
north-
it
Yeah.
true to what the skinwalker would have.
Yeah, because it just copies what it sees, so it's not like it's gonna
Yeah, because I could almost see it like, I don't know if it'd be able to stand up, but I could see it like turn into a moose and just start trampling it
Moose is
after.
one of them.
I'm
Moose-
pretty sure that was when we discussed,
discussed
too about
moose,
the moose,
but we
it
said
just
that-
didn't beat anything out.
Yeah, we said bison are just bigger, so they have more power. Obviously, a bear is a little bit more tanky than something
Yeah.
that's on, four legs that all the time, stuff like that. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it was either power or HP because we wanted to do a different animal for each. So moose was in there somewhere, but we were just like,
I think
the
it was
bison
HP.
is just better in both categories, so
I
why
think it
would you
was,
ever
yeah.
use moose?
Yeah.
You just wouldn't.
Yeah.
It would
Yeah.
be useless.
Because you could do the same thing with a bison, but I feel like bisons aren't really trampling stuff down as much as like a moose.
Oh, I just meant like weight wise. Like
Yeah.
he literally
Yeah.
just uses his full weight to pretty much kill him. But
I feel like, yeah, would it? I don't know. Because I feel like it would definitely get squished.
are you talking about under a bison? You don't think something would die?
Not like instantly. I think it would. I don't think it's just like popping.
Brother, I don't know if you've ever encountered a bison. These things are huge.
No, I know. I don't know. It might be possible.
So the average bison weighs 2,000 pounds.
That's a ton.
compared to El
Yeah.
Chupacabra,
That's
who
basically like taking
probably at max weighs maybe a little over 100. I would say
Yeah.
maybe a little more. Maybe because he's a lizard. He's got the scales to add
You're
a little
telling
bit
me
of
you can
weight.
take 1 ton and not die near instantly?
I like if you had a soft rubber tire. They have,
Hey, this
Yeah.
isn't a soft rubber tire.
but
this
he's got
is
a big gut. You
This
know,
is a
big,
bison.
big bison.
He's also got
Maybe.
hoofs.
Well, yeah. I don't know. He's probably done for.
Okay, either way, I don't know if that necessarily matters. I think either way, Chupacabra's not coming out on top.
Yeah.
He's dead. Sorry.
I think he's just too weak. And stealth, great. If you have stealth in a 1v1, increases your odds exponentially to winning.
Unfortunately, he
Unfortunately,
went up against another
when
stealth
you have
10.
another stealth user, your
Yeah.
stealth, just zero it out. That one doesn't matter anymore. Let's look at everything else, and everything else is a lot lower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the Skinwalker will move on. I just checked the clock. We've hit 40 minutes, so we did it again. But now we got plenty of time for some smaller fights.
We did hit a big one though, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did, yeah. That was a pretty large
Skinwalker
one.
for the win, baby.
I know Julian was pushing Skinwalker almost that whole time.
He's basically just like a druid.
All right, so now I just had none of my notes ready, so we're going to go ahead and take another quick commercial break. And the quick commercial break is over.
Nice. You guys didn't even know there was one.
Nope. Maybe I'll throw something in there in post.
Yeah.
Probably not. But maybe. Alright, so now we come to a returning contender from round one. Black Shook. Now, if you're listening to the podcast, I explained, what was it, last episode or the one before, who Black Shook is?
The one before.
So, you're just getting the quick rundown. He's a dog. When you see him, you're gonna die.
When you hear
Where
him,
is he
you
from?
die.
Yeah, when you hear his howl, you'll die. He's from like Germany.
He's from England somewhere. I don't remember exactly where.
East Anglia. East Anglia.
Okay, that's somewhere in Europe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
So yeah, he's just a demonic dog. Sometimes he's depicted with one eye. Sometimes he's got both. They're red. He howls. It means you're gonna die. Yeah. That's Black Shook. Go back and listen to our previous episodes for more information. Now, Black Shook characteristics. 35 inches tall. 200 pounds. A bright red eye/eyes.
For those wondering, 35 inches is a little bit under 3 feet.
So he really is like Buster size.
Yeah.
Well, that's tall. That's not like when he's on his hind legs or going up.
Yeah, but still, that's
Yeah.
only like.
Yeah.
It's about like
3 feet's like here. Think of a yardstick. I'd say it's like here then.
Yeah.
Yardstick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Not-
a little less.
Just keep the height in mind when we get to our next contender. Abilities, Death Howl and Silent Step. If you hear the howl, you're going to die. And his footsteps make no noise.
Wow.
Now we
So
go.
we've got another high stealth.
Yes, we go down the stats. Intelligence of 6, Power of 8, Defense of 6, Mobility of 9, HP of 6, Stealth 10. So,
Keep in mind
Decent
what Matt
stats.
just said about stealth 10s.
well, luckily his competitor is not the stealthiest creature in the world. Next, we are covering his competitor, the Loch Ness Monster.
Classic.
I am not going to give you any explanation about the Loch Ness Monster. If you don't know what the Loch Ness Monster is,
you live a sad
you've
life.
been living under a rock for the last 100 years. Okay, if you don't know who the Loch Ness Monster is, go onto YouTube. Characteristics: plesiosaur light. It's like a plesiosaur. Probably a little smaller, definitely. Lives in fresh water. Lives in basically a pond.
Yeah, compared to the size, yeah.
But like I said, if you want to learn more, do the research. 20 feet long. So, that's really not that long either, when you think about it.
That's
20 feet's pretty long.
like this
Double the
garage.
room that we're in. This room is probably 10 feet. That is
wall
standard.
left to right.
No,
This is
No,
definitely
I'm
not...
I'm saying this.
height-wise?
Yeah. So take that.
I'm talking about length.
Well,
yeah,
yeah,
I know.
but you're just
I'm just
taking
saying
that
take
to,
that, double it, and now you have how
yeah,
long
yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not that impressed, gonna be honest.
Yeah. So yeah,
Um,
he is a little smaller than what you'd expect from the Loch Ness
Yeah,
monster.
when you think of the Loch Ness Monster, you big dinosaur creature. He's not that big. He's got to survive in this freshwater little lake. So it makes sense, but it's not as crazy as you think. No abilities. Just a dinosaur. Stats. Intelligence of 6. Power of 6. Defense of 7. Mobility of 8. HP of 7. Stealth 8. Pretty well-rounded stats.
Yeah,
Nothing
kind of
crazy
averaging a lot.
high, but he's right in that middle line a little close.
All right, so the arena.
So yeah, this is when it's gonna get complicated.
We
Loch
could go
Ness
with
Monster.
Lakeside Forest,
Yeah.
the Loch Ness Lake.
Here's my
With the
problem
forest next
with
to
the
it?
forest is because we're gonna have to bring Nessie out of the water, of course. Doesn't mean Nessie won't go into the water, but at some point it's gonna have to come out in the fight. It's gonna need an arena where it'll fit too. I don't see it fitting in a forest.
Well, that's why I said lakeside light forest almost, where it's not as many trees. It's just kind of like open, but they're tall ass
Like
trees
there's
still.
trees. It's
Yeah.
just open wooded forest. Okay. Yeah, I can get behind that. Now the even harder part. How the fuck does this fight start?
I feel like the big shook's gonna be on the outside. Do
You
the
don't
howl.
think he's going for a dip?
No, I think he's doing a howl, and that kind of gets the Loch Ness Monster's attention, and he pokes his head out of the water.
He just pokes.
Maybe he comes out. I don't think the wolf's gonna try to get, or the shook's gonna get in the water.
I don't think so. Unless he's brought into the water, I don't see him willingly going in. So that's why
What if-
Because we
okay.
talked about this fight before the episode. I considered switching some people around, but we didn't go that route. We're letting the fights are staying true to who the fighters are fighting.
Yes.
So that just makes this difficult. Because how are they going to fight?
Okay. What if we did something that's kind of original? We brought some humans in as bait. I know in the Krampus one there were children, but that seemed more like a prop, not necessarily like the children were already there and then he picked them up. What if there's people swimming in the lake, and we use that as the reason the Black Shook is there, and maybe the reason that Nessie, as a creature that's not necessarily malicious, maybe it's almost trying to protect the people.
Like a guardian of the area, of the lake.
I mean, it's almost what Nessie's become. At first it was mystic, and we just cited it, and now it's more like...
Now it's definitely more like a mascot.
Exactly.
For sure.
So,
okay.
Maybe we're taking that route with it. I know we've never...
we would ever have, like, an alligator scenario? Where it's maybe the big shook's taking a drink of water, and then the Loch Ness comes out and tries to grab it.
There's just
I
no
think it's
reported
cryptid...
attacks of Nessie attacking anything out of the water.
It's never really been
neither
known to
in
be
the water,
malicious.
but I would say there's just no signs that it eats anything from above ground compared to in the water.
So I think that the Black Shook also is a cryptid who doesn't necessarily need to take a drink of water. Like, this is more like it's like a death demon, so it's not necessarily like, I'm just chilling as a dog, you know?
So you think it howls at these people in the water, maybe these creatures, I mean, technically you could categorize them as supernatural beings, all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe he kind of picks up on the howl a little bit, kind of feels something funky going on with it.
Well, I was almost saying, we don't even need the humans to be around long. Maybe he howls and then they die because of the howl, but that's what alerts Nessie. There's just like dead people floating in the water. Holy shit, what happened?
Does his howl instantly kill him?
No, but if you hear it, you're going to die. It's like
he killed them almost when they got out of the water and then just kind of left their
And
bodies
does that
floating.
only work on people?
Yes.
Yes.
Although every time it's stated, the person lives, so take it with a grain of salt. Not really mean you're gonna die.
Yeah, it's always weird how these people hear the howl and tell the story, and they're still alive. Strange. But, so, I say we go with your scenario, just because there's not a lot of scenarios here to go with.
Yeah.
So you think Nessie gets out of the water to attack?
I think so. I think it sees the aggressor, or it sees the Black Shook and becomes an aggressor.
And I definitely don't think with the Black Shook it'd be afraid to get out of the water, just because
it's bigger than the thing.
Size.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be that worried about it. So, say he gets out of the water, starts going after Black Shook. Black Shook, also not being a wimp, I feel like would attack. Be like, this guy's... I have a hard time saying that just because the Loch Ness Monster is so big, it'd almost make no sense for the Black Shook to attack it, but we don't have a choice.
Well, if the Black Shook... What's its intelligence? We got...
The Black Shook is running an intelligence of 6.
While the Loch Ness Monster could be fast in the water...
Slower on land, for sure.
It's like almost halved on land. So, what's its mobility now?
I believe it's a 4, yeah. 4.
Okay. Stay with me here. We're going to go out on a limb. This fight's just going to be weird.
This fight was bound to be weird.
So the Black Shook almost can see, okay, this thing's huge, but it's got a giant long neck that's not.
Yeah.
Let's say it goes for a lunge. Okay, so there's a neck I can bite and maybe kill it like that. Now, Nessie's got its neck bit.
Adding on to your point, what if he claws on it to get up as well?
There you
Dealing
go.
a little extra
Doing some more damage. Claws, jumps, bites its neck. Now what I'm thinking here, Nessie's like, holy shit, I've got this thing attached to me. Starts swinging its neck. Launches this thing into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can buy it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
what does the... Yeah, the wolf you don't think would be able to hold on? Depends if it, like, runs down its neck. Like, is it on the top of its
I'm
neck?
just thinking it's got a grip on its neck. But
What if he just takes him into the water?
Yeah, what
that's
if he
true.
just
Maybe he
eases
just,
him in?
maybe he just literally...
Black Shook's locked in
walks into
right
the
now.
water,
He's like,
yeah.
I gotta fucking kill this thing, go after its neck. He's like, okay, let's go for a swim.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a little bit more like, oh shit, let's go for a swim.
Yeah. And with a speed of 4, the Black Shook's gonna catch him coming to him before Loch Ness Monster gets very far from the water.
Yeah.
And with Black Shook's lower intelligence, I don't think he's gonna mind or really
Yeah.
pay attention to like.
I think
he's moving. To
he's
the
locked
water.
in on,
He's just
I'm trying to
locked
kill this thing. Yeah.
So now we could just go as far as saying Nessie just drowns it.
Well, how much damage is the bite doing to him?
Well, what's the power?
For Black Shook.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, Nessie, defense 7, HP 7, while Black Shook has a power of 8, so he's got high bite strength.
Yeah,
Ooh.
because I feel
I
like
think
he
Nessie's
would be...
kind of bleeding out, so now it's almost a run against the clock. Because it's like, okay, we need to get either this thing off of me, because it's going to kill me if it keeps on biting me, or
Well, now
I'm going to try and...
Now it's in the fucking leg. Now its speed is
That's
back
to 8 mobility.
Black Shook's speed is like
2.
2 at best.
Yeah.
Right now.
So it's almost like just I'm gonna straight dive to the bottom, get this thing off me, and I'm out. And then there's no way Black Shook will be able to get to the top.
Well, I think it would
Well,
let
it's
go.
a lake. It's not necessarily the deepest thing ever. Plus, we've got a wolf-like creature who can swim well, not like
not
this
amazing.
This thing's crazy.
But it
but
can swim.
It
Dogs
can.
and wolves can swim pretty
They
proficiently.
can get around. They're
So
not
I
super
don't
quick,
think
though.
it going to the bottom is necessarily the end for Black Shook.
I think just being in the water is the end.
I don't think so.
I don't
'cause,
think it's necessarily a death sentence because I think Black Shook still has a good grip. It's done enough damage. It's already climbed up and started attacking the neck.
I mean,
I
he's
think
got
Nessie's
defense
kind of
7
bleeding.
and HP 7 though. It's going to take a lot more than a
But 8
neck
power.
bite.
And I feel like if it's locked on, it's going to be constantly like biting at him while he's being dragged.
His
well, I
hide's
can
a
see him
lot
clawing,
thicker than a
too.
normal animal, though.
But I feel
Okay,
like
hold on. Bring up Black Shook's stats again.
I feel like if
Which
you
stat are you
apply
looking
thick hide
Just-
to a demon dog's bite, it equals out.
So I'm thinking about HP just going up against each other, whether or not one's bleeding out or one's taking enough damage from, let's say, pressure in the water or...
This is
That's the
another hiccup I think we ran into, or at least I have with the stats, is while they are number-based, at the same time I feel like they'd be relative to the creature. The
Yeah.
number would be relative. So a 7 on the Loch Ness is a little different than a 6 on the
Well,
Black Shook.
but if you remember, we factored in HP size into HP initially.
Not
So
for-
that's part of the reason why
Not
it
for
has
Loch
a 7.
Ness. We did it for Oklahoma
Well, like, I don't think
Octopus.
you would have had like a giant creature with like low HP. You would always say,
No,
well,
well,
because
that's why
it's
I'm
big.
saying the number's just relative to the creature. So a 7 on Loch
But
Ness,
they
I
also,
feel like would be
they also
different
go
than
head to head.
They go
Because
head
a
to
9
head.
is always going to be less than human intelligence, but barely. So no matter what, it's going to correlate to the other creature.
But it's
the
like how
scales
we
are
were
also
saying,
different size.
Remember when we did the scales for like Titans, where
Yeah.
it was like
Well, that made it so that
Lower.
what it was literally, I think it was just one of the stats.
Ningen for strength, I believe.
I was
we
going to say it
scaled.
was just one stat that can go above 10 because it's at a certain scale, but then it was like Titan scaling became a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's killing Loch Ness that quick with a couple neck bites. He's
Well-
got to breathe. Loch Ness takes him down. He's going to have to let go eventually.
I think
I'm
he
saying-
lets go and then tries to get back on land.
Yeah, I'm saying the Black Shook I don't think is taking, like, it's necessarily out for the count because what's the damage being dealt to it in this scenario? There's
Yeah.
nothing like that's
My-
harming him other than, oh, should I need to breathe? Which
this
I
is my
don't
only
think is
thing
like
is
the
that
biggest
once he's in the
hindrance.
water and he lets go, his speed is like 2. His mobility is
Well,
a 2.
While he still can swim, his mobility's a lot lower in the
yeah,
water.
and
Okay, but
it's
it's
basically
not...
roles reverse, but lower now
I
than
think
how it is
he
for
was
Loch Ness.
is like swimming back to shore, but that's where Loch Ness gets an opportunity. But to me, Loch Ness seems kind of like a whale. Like, it is a big creature and it's intimidating, but it's not got a lot of stuff.
Nothing's
going-
been proven as far as violence.
Yeah, like,
agree.
He's pretty docile. Where like Shook's a demon dog, I feel like it can match up against a bigger docile creature.
I agree, but being in the water is just such a boost for Nessie. All he's got to do is bite onto him, bring him back down, and don't let go.
Or just keep hitting him while he's swimming up to the water. While he's swimming up to the surface. Just keep fucking bringing
And
him
imagine
back
a
down.
bite from Nessie
Yeah.
Wow.
on a regular-sized dog. Even if it doesn't have teeth, it's doing crushing damage.
Yeah.
Which means he loses lungs for air from his lungs. Which means he can't really breathe if he keeps underwater.
I
And
don't
broken
know. How big
bones
do you think this
drops
thing,
mobility.
its head is? I'm trying to think of, okay, Nessie, let's say 20 feet, right? So its head's got to be not much, honestly, like the size of this table, maybe.
Yeah, that's
We'll
what I
say,
was thinking.
and that for those of you listening, the table's not very big. I'll just put
Yeah,
that.
no, it's...
So I'd say
2.5
maybe the
feet.
size of a
Yeah.
human torso. That's probably its head. Black Shook, once again, think a yardstick, and
Yeah.
it's probably kind of beefy.
Yeah,
I don't know if
like
it's necessarily going to like crushing on this thing. It's more like grabs on.
Well, it's
You
not
guys
like
are
it's
putting a lot
incovenant.
of weight into the bite force of Black Shook, but putting no weight into the bite force of Nessie, who still has a power of 6.
And it's not
And a
necessarily
Black
of
Shook
doing.
has a defense of 6.
It's not necessarily of doing damage. It's more of just buying more time for Nessie to keep him underwater, so they can't do much. Because when it's in the water, it really can't do much.
I just feel like if Nessie gets the Black Shook in the water, it's just going for drown strat. And there's not a lot Black Shook can do against a drown strat. Besides,
I mean,
freak out and try and escape.
it could scratch him, like his eyes
For sure.
or something. I don't know. I could see it like Nessie bites him, and then starts pulling him down again. But then like the Shook starts scratching, trying to escape again. But like,
All Nessie has to do, though, is lock in.
yeah,
Even if it gets the eyes, just don't let go, and you win.
I feel like I could see him locking in, but then I could also see him being like too docile and with a giant
What's
gash
the HP
on his
of,
neck.
Black Shook?
Yeah.
6.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's rough because Nessie doesn't seem. I don't know.
Nessie's not a fighter, but you have to be a fighter in this arena. That's just how it is. I mean,
So
if not, you forfeit and you
And
lose,
that's why
and
it's
we
not
don't
really
do
like doing
forfeits.
damage. It's really just trying to almost harmly kill it. Being a pacifist, where it just makes it drown without doing any harm.
Yeah, I could see that. I just feel like the demon dog would be able to get out of its grasp eventually, unless it instantly killed it.
Well, my thing is, we've never given Black Shook really any benefit. He's got slapped up in every other fight, I think, besides the tournament one.
Yeah.
So I just don't put a lot of stock in his abilities and what he can do. He's just a dog, and we've never really factored like the demon stuff into it heavily. So that's another route. I'm not. Yes, it's a demon.
I
but
think I can accept. I think I can accept the Black Shook's drowning, mostly just because a lot of the reports, the people don't even die. So it doesn't seem like this thing necessarily has as much killing intent or power as what maybe the story would imply when you're first hearing about it.
And if you really break down the story, it's really just a messenger.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, here, I'm howling. You're gonna die soon.
I think really the
Just
only
letting you know.
kills it's done was Pasture, and then just burned its paws into the fucking podium and left.
Yeah, in the church, right?
Yeah.
So maybe even the initial scenario, the humans don't even need to die.
They don't
You
need
just
to
know
die.
that there's harm coming to them,
Yeah.
and maybe they run away or something. But I could take.
Does the dog get back
dog
on the
drowning.
boat? Just kidding. Hops back on the boat.
There was no boat.
Well, the human's got to be on something.
They
Not
were
if they're
swimming.
It's a
Oh,
lakeside.
they're just swimming.
They're just swimming around. Yeah.
I think Black Shook did a lot better than originally I thought. When I originally saw this fight, I'm like, yeah, it's a wash.
Yeah.
Nessie instantly just beats him. But I definitely think he did better than what I thought. I just don't see him winning against Nessie if Nessie gets him in the water.
Yeah.
I think the water for a water cryptid is just an insane boost if you're not a water cryptid.
It's like, yeah, it's an
Unfortunately.
insane boost or an insane negative. It's like, you're in the water, you can pretty much kill him because you're the only one in it. Or it's like, you're out of the water, you're useless.
Yeah.
And there's definitely like scenarios for cryptids where that's different. Gatorman
Yeah.
can do both. So you could fight just Gatorman on land, never touch the water. But for certain creatures, it's like they need the water, they have to be there. So unfortunately, they just have this huge advantage that's really difficult to counter.
All right. Well, looks like Nessie came out on top for fight number 2. Do we have enough time for a third fight, or?
Well, we're running over an hour now. Our next biggest fight would be Werewolf versus Wendigo.
Which sounds like that's kind of a blockbuster. So,
Yeah, I mean,
how's round 2 going? How are we?
we just ran through a lot of the easy cryptids, so a lot of the cryptids going forward, the fights are just going to take some time. Unfortunately,
That's what I figured once we started getting these ones.
we can do Tiki Toby versus the Jersey Devil.
Okay.
Who's
The
Omni
Jersey
first
Devil
going
wins.
Yeah. I'll give you a scenario really quick. Tiki Toby sees Jersey Devil. All Jersey Devil does, breathe fire. Done.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. If you want to know more about So first of all, if you don't know who the the Jersey Devil is, you get a little more leeway, but also very popular cryptid. Go look it up. Tiki Toby is a creepypasta.
Yeah.
He's
Basically,
just a guy.
He's just a serial killer creepypasta. Basically, Jeff the Killer or Jane the Killer, or any other fucking killer.
So he's
creepypasta.
normal human stats versus the Jersey Devil, who, in some stories, is the child of the devil.
Mm-hmm.
There's just, I don't even need to read the stats, like Roger said. You just call it for free. That's the Jersey Devil every day of the week.
Yeah, I'll be honest. This is literally normal human versus demon.
Yeah.
It's not. You're not winning any of the times. It's not like the weaknesses of the Jersey Devil don't even come into play because you're a human. So there's not even like.
And all
He
the
doesn't
tiki.
even have holy water or anything.
Well, it's not.
He's got like a knife, I
Yeah.
think. He's got just, what is it, like a butcher knife
You
or
know
just
who
a
he
kitchen
has?
knife?
He basically has Slenderman on his side, but not on his side at the same time. And that's why the
Yeah, I feel like the evil guy fighting the demon's gonna be like, oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So there's your third fight for the episode. We once again spent a lot of time on the first one, but going forward, it might be just 1 to 2 fights an episode, or 2 fights an episode, just because now we're getting into the thick of it. I mean, there's a lot here. Next episode, we'll be covering Wendigo versus Werewolf, for sure. So just running down the bracket, Megaconda, Makara. That one could take a
that
minute.
one could take a minute, I think. Yeah.
Goatman, Skunk Ape.
Okay,
That one's going to
take a
be
second.
good. That's going to take a bit. Mothman, Santa.
Okay, so this is round 3 that we're getting into.
No, this is round 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
Santa
bottom
and-
half of round 2.
Okay.
We got Bunyip versus Ningen. Let's see how that goes.
They're both water-ish.
My thing is, the Ningen is such a hard cryptid to fight because it is one of the very few Titan cryptids we've covered. So
Did we do
I think
Oklahoma
we're just going to
Octopus?
end up spending a lot of time on it. I believe we did do the Oklahoma Octopus already.
Because I was wondering who he fought.
No, we did not.
I think we left him out just because he's literally bottom of the lake, so he can't really fight anything besides Ningen or Omnicook.
Or the Loch Ness Monster, which
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure was the original fight. Yeah.
And Loch Ness Monster got clapped.
I don't know why Goatman is on here twice, so we'll probably just have his competitor Monkey Man move on to round 3, just automatically keep it fair.
Wait, Monkey Man is still in the bracket?
Oh,
He beat Enfield Horror.
Oh, that's true. He was fighting a pretty low cryptid.
Oklahoma Octopus versus SCP-076.
okay, the one that has the fucking box and revival, whatever.
Oh, that wasn't. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
Then we go Dogman versus Ratman.
Wash.
Yeah, I think that could be a pretty quick one. We might be able
I don't
to
know,
throw
man.
in.
Ratman
Ratman
was
did
kind
come
of
out.
broken when
Yeah,
we did him
bro.
versus Vampire.
The tail, I was
I
thinking
think
about...
Vampire was just less busted than we thought.
Dude,
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. I
Yeah,
think
we kind
Ratman-
of gave it to where Vampire was like, we thought it was a little stronger, and then we are like, actually, he's not really that strong. He's just more of like eternal
Yeah.
and health based.
So, like, Dogman is pretty much just werewolf, but not. Like,
All I'm saying is, Ratman put up a lot better fight than I ever thought he would in a gajillion years. I think he's got some tech that he can use.
his
I will
tail
say it
could
will be a fight,
put in
but-
more useful ways, I feel, too, for movement.
alright.
Then we have Dobar Chu versus the Washuge.
That's an easy wash.
Oh, yeah, come on.
And then we end off round 2 with Mermaid versus the Yeti.
That's pretty easy.
That's
too.
kind of fun, but also seems like kind of a wash.
So, everybody go ahead, place your bets for what's to come. But for today, that's going to do it. What do we knock out? 2 or 3 of them?
I'd say 3. I don't think Jersey Devil versus
That's
Tiki Toby
correct.
needs anything more. Yeah.
So, we knocked out another 3. We got a laundry list to go for round 2.
But we got a good one next time.
Yeah.
Werewolf versus Wendigo.
And then we do have a round 3 fight. We have 2 competitors ready for round 3. I'm not going to spoil to the viewers who it is.
But if you've been listening, you should know.
Exactly. Bigfoot.
Oh
Okay,
my
wow.
gosh,
Is
Bro's
getting
like-
washed in round 3.
Yes.
Yes,
Let's
yes,
go.
let's go.
My money is now going on the Yeti. So
Bigfoot to the
The
other.
cooler.
that's competitor 1 of
Literally.
our first round 3 fight. But that pretty much covers today's tournament bracket.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, nice.
Normal stuff. I did sign back into the Instagram recently. I
Nice.
know Julian saw our little post for your
Philosophy.
episode.
Yep.
The Stoicism post. So if you want to check that out, Cryptid versus Cryptid on Instagram, or you can text in the show, first link in the description, or you can just stick to the archaic way and email us at cryptidversuscryptid@gmail.com. Andrew, that is...
CRYPTIDVSCRYPTID@gmail.com.
And yeah, no new ratings, no new emails. So that'll do it for us.
All right. Yeah, leave a 5-star review. We'll read it out on the podcast. I have said this multiple times.
And
All
we've
right.
done it before.
Yes. All right.
All right, well, we're going to get out of this oven. We'll see you
Yeah.
guys in the
See you
next
next
episode.
time.